Hello everyone, welcome back to English with Patricia. Today I want to talk to you about how you can work on your speaking with some very practical tips. Some of those tips are highly overlooked. So some of those tips people don't actually consider. They don't think about them because they don't think it makes a difference. But guess what? It does. So today we're going to talk about this, and hopefully next time you're going to come back here and you're going to leave me a comment telling me that it has worked for you. Let me know, okay? The first thing I want you to think about when you want to improve your speaking is speaking in your language is one thing, speaking English is something else in terms of the mechanics of the whole thing, okay? I'm talking about the mouth, I'm talking about the tongue, I'm talking about the muscles you use, I'm talking about how you actually get those words out. And what happens when you're trying to speak English is that we feel super tense. And this tension prevents us from speaking better. It stops you from speaking better. You're so tense, you can't actually move your mouth the way you're supposed to. You can't get the right movement. You can't get the right rhythm. So the first thing to consider is how you need to be able to relax your mouth, to relax your jaw especially, okay? So give yourself, I'm not saying do this every time you speak English. Come on, that's obviously not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is for you to get used to speaking so that you're not so tense when you do have to speak, practice some techniques at home, okay? Not every day, not all the time, but today, right now, I want to practice my speaking at home. So you do it before so that you can get it out more naturally. Eventually, you're not going to be so tense because it's not going to be so new to you anymore. You're tense because you're not familiar with it. It's something that is still new to you, and that's what makes you super tense, okay? So, massage, first thing, your index and your middle finger or your thumb, whatever you prefer. I used to tell you guys to do it with your thumb, and I still think that's good, but it doesn't work so well for me. I prefer doing it with my index and my middle finger instead, okay? Both hands on the sides here, so it's right at the top of your jaw. It's your jaw. So right at the top here, and you're going to slowly press against the skin slowly. This is not supposed to hurt, everybody. Don't come back here and tell me you broke your jaw. Not my fault. Press slowly and gently, and circular movements. You have got to feel that you are really relaxing. Okay? Set your intention right, guys. You're doing this to be able to relax your mouth, because speaking is hard when you're learning. I know, I went through that too. Okay, keep doing it. Don't talk, just do it. After you've done it for a while, when you really feel relaxed, you're going to say a sentence, any sentence at all, whilst you are massaging. So for example, I'm from Brazil actually. I've only been here a month. You see how you're almost falling asleep. I'm almost falling asleep, I'm not even joking. Then you let go and you say it. I'm from Brazil actually. I've only been here a month. And it needs to feel like it's slightly easier. And every time you're feeling tense, I'm feeling tense, I have to speak English or I want to speak English, supposedly it's a job interview, go to the toilet first, give yourself a little massage, get yourself ready to go. Something else that normally prevents your speaking from getting better is how people don't pay attention to the mouth itself, okay? It's easier to speak English when you don't open your mouth as much, so keep it slightly closed. Do a little exercise that you're supposed to talk without opening your mouth. You're not gonna talk like this, come on, it's just an exercise. What we're doing are techniques to improve the final result, okay? So try talking without actually opening your mouth. You're going to pay attention to how your tongue moves in your mouth, and you're going to make your tongue very loose. What does loose mean? Very, loose, as opposed to tense. Make your tongue, consciously make your tongue very loose in your mouth. It's a great exercise. Don't underestimate this. It's a good one. and you're talking like this, and you're just paying attention to how your tongue is moving, and your tongue is very, very light. You have to feel your tongue very light in your mouth, because when you speak English, pay attention to native speakers. Look at their mouths when they're talking. Really, pay attention. And you're going to see that it feels like their tongue is loose in their mouth, because they are not tense when they're speaking. If you try to speak English when you're tense, it's so much harder because of the mechanisms of the language. Something that makes you nervous when you're speaking English probably is not knowing what to say in a conversation to just fill the gaps. There are little gaps in a conversation, moments where we're not saying anything, or the person is telling you a story and you want to contribute, you want to say something to make sure they know you're listening, or to make sure they know you understand what they're saying. And we don't know what to say, so this makes us very tense. If you watch an interview in English, pay attention to how those gaps are being filled. You're going to notice something like, all right, or right, or oh, really, or I know, or it is. Those are little things you say when you're having a conversation to fill the gaps. What I want you to do is to watch an interview in English with anybody you like. It can be American English, British English, Canadian English, Australian, blah, 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 whatever English you want to listen to. Watch an interview in English and watch how their body language is. And watch how they are filling the gaps, and pause and fill the gaps. Say those words, because then you start to relieve the tension, because when you are forced to speak English, you will be a little bit tense, probably, if this is something that you don't do all the time, or something that you're still not comfortable doing. So watch how when you say those little things, you relieve the tension, because you are smiling as you say it. You learn that you can speak English and have a smile on your face. And you learn that you can speak English and have a facial expression, be like, really, or really, because it's communication. You're not a robot, trust me. So all these little things help you with your speaking, because slowly you find out who you are in English and you find your voice, and that is a very beautiful journey to go on. So do go on this journey. Pay attention to how they fill the gaps. Repeat what they say. Little words said with intention make a big difference in your speaking. And also, last thing I want to say is questions. If you want to make your speaking better, because you're going to be more relaxed and it's going to flow better, it's not an interview. They are not interviewing you. When people ask you questions about yourself in English, you're not supposed to just answer the questions. You need to ask them questions. So thinking about this, I came up with 3 questions that you can ask when you are talking about the place that you are. So supposedly somebody comes to the place where you work in Brazil, and this person is from abroad, okay? And you want to ask them questions about Brazil, right? So 3 questions that you can use all the time. And if you don't live in Brazil, then these questions work if you meet somebody at a party, at an event, and you want to ask about this kind of thing. So the first thing you can ask is, do you like it here? Remember, it is in the sentence. Do you like it here? It's a great question, because when you want to make your speaking better and you are confident to ask questions, your speaking will be better, because you're speaking more and because you're giving yourself a chance. Second one, it's a very good sentence, very good question to ask. Have you been here before? You see how I'm not talking like this? I'm not opening my mouth like that, because English doesn't work like that. I'm keeping it slightly closed. Have you been here before? And the third one, how long are you here? When you say how long are you here, you're asking how long are you going to be here for? When are you going back to your country? When are you going back to your office? When are you going back to your city? And then the person probably say, oh, I'm only here for 4 days. Oh, let me show you around then. Let me take you out and show you the city and show you and take you places and take you out for dinner or something. So remember, speaking is practice, even if you do it on your own, by yourself, alone, at home. it works, but you need to get those words out. Okay, massage, so important, really. You need to be able to relax. Close your mouth and talk like that just to make sure that you understand how the whole thing works. Ask questions, understand how to fill the gaps, and I'm sure you're going to be here soon and you're going to tell me that you feel a big difference. Let me know if you do. Thank you for being here today. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.